Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. It is so late, and I'm still congested. I appreciate those of you who've reached out who've been worried about my health. I don't get allergies often. I don't get cold symptoms often. But when I do, I still produce content because even when I'm not 100%, I still want to give subscribers a reason to feel like they are thankful to be subscribed, you know? And yes, I could take a step back, but I haven't taken a day off in 5 years. So why start now? Um, on Mondays and Thursdays, when it's the new arena refresh and I teach all day Monday, Thursday, I don't have a chance to get to my line messages until late, which is why in my live streams, you all often tell me the news of the day, even though you're used to maybe going to my channel to hear the news. Today, on January 27th, even though technically it's January 28th because it's past midnight at the time of recording this, we have an update to balancing in MCOC. Greetings, summoners. In the coming months, we are going to be introducing a new champion rating system to help better visualize the strengths and weaknesses of any given champion, giving you all a better understanding of the champion at a glance. Coinciding with this new rating system, we are creating a new rebalancing process for that will apply to all new champions coming to the contest. This new balancing cadence means that reworks for older champions will slow somewhat but will still occur. These new balancing initiatives will be spearheaded by an expanded champion balancing team here at Kabam. The newest recruit to the team is a beloved community member who will make themselves known when they feel the time is right. Brian Grant. If you want to learn all of the details, read the expanded version below. Let's talk about balancing and a new ability rating system coming to MCOC. Ready? Let's go. Today we would like to talk with you about the next chapter of balancing in Marvel Contest of Champions and a brand new initiative we are undertaking to help new and old players better understand the abilities and kits of champions. So far, since starting our rebalancing initiative, we've updated 32 of your favorite champions to varying degrees. Yes, some have been amazing, like Red Maddox. Others, like Yellow Jacket, you're like, were they rebalanced? I guess they kind of were. Maybe. I hate fighting them, but don't use them. Our initial implementation of balancing in the contest was new territory for the champions team and the community alike. We believe that balancing as a whole has been great for the health of the game, as we have taken the opportunity to go back to review and refresh champions that may have performed differently than we intended or the community expected. When we set out to create a champion, we outline goals for the champion that we want to hit, usually aspects of the champion's core identity that we want to highlight, and gameplay opportunities that we feel would be fun and useful in our different game modes. Our intention with balancing is always to go in and have a second look to make sure that we are adhering to the initial goals we set out when building the character from the ground up. So let's talk about the future of balancing and our ever-evolving initiative to educate summoners about the nuances of the contest and visualize that information in game. Enter MCOC's brand new ability rating system. One huge piece of feedback we've received from a wide range of summoners is that currently it's hard to know what is and what is not intended when it comes to champion balance. This can cause confusion amongst the player base when champions behave in a new or peculiar ways. Starting in March seems to be such an important month for the game in so many ways, including with the new input system that's hopefully finally going to fix the dex and parry issues. We will be adding a brand new 5-point ability rating system to all champions of the game. What does it look like? We'll be rating champions on a few different aspects of their abilities and general strengths and weaknesses. While we are still hammering down the details, we are currently looking to implement ratings for damage output, survivability, utility, and ease of use. For example, Cold Obsidian is a great champion with high damage output, but not as much utility. So you'd have a 5 out of 5 in damage, but closer to a 1 or 2 for utility. Magic, on the other hand, is a champion with high utility and ease of use, but a lower damage rating. These are still a work in progress, but should give a general idea of what you can expect. Further, we are launching a brand new rebalancing initiative for new champions. Here's how it's going to work. Champion balancing will work in a 6-month cadence from the release of a new champion. 1/3 of that time will consist of that champion being in the hands of experienced players, will include back and forth feedback between the community and the development team. This change to balancing also means that over time we'll be bolstering and expanding our beta program to allow more summoners the opportunity to interact with new champion updates as much as possible. After release, the champion's live data will be reviewed for 3 months. This is not a new addition, but has only been done behind the scenes for the most part. After that period, changes will be made off of the collected data and put on the beta server for further testing and feedback collection. Changes will live on the beta server for 2 months, where we'll be collecting player feedback at this time. The updated champion will then be released to the live game. Let's use the first champion releasing in March as an example. Release March 17th. Data collection March to mid-June. Changes live on beta server June to mid-August. Changes released to public late August. This is where the new rating system comes into play. Using these new ratings, we'll compare live data of the characters to the original goals and the ratings, and if needed, balance the champion based on the difference between the new and old data. We believe in the past, or in this process, an improvement because it is more inclusive to the community than we have been in the past, and take away the mystery of will they or won't they of champions balance changes. When we conducted tuning changes in the past, the majority of negative feedback from the community was due to the fact that these tuning changes were conducted in a vacuum, and vacuums suck. Players had a hard time understanding what was overpowered and underpowered and had no input into what was changing. Now with the rating system, players will be able to better judge if a champion is in the right place and will be able to give feedback along the way while updates are being made. I have so much to say about this. The first champions to release this new system will be subject to the new rebalance cadence, with the 2 new champions set to release in March. Balance changes should be somewhat familiar to the majority of players. For example, of tune-ups, you could take a look at Moleman or Terrax, while a tune-down would be more akin to Cold Obsidian or Namor. While Cold Obsidian or Namor's changes were initially seen as majorly negative, summoners soon found that the changes were not major and continue to use those champions to this day. I still don't like tune-downs at all. I just don't think there's any excuse for it outside of like a crazy rare bug, which is far more rare than Kabam likes to say. We also want to reemphasize any changes we made with much more visibility this time, and we'll be incorporating player feedback during the process instead of after, thank God. What does this mean for current balance program? Reworks are not going anywhere. However, with the new balancing initiative going online, there may or may not be 2 major or medium reworks a month moving forward. So, don't have any major reworks lined up in February. Value update for Psycho Man to go live in March. I forget he's in the game. In April, we'll be moving back to our 2 updates per month, but we'll guarantee what kind of updates they will be. Overhaul, moderate, or value only. So we're talking about Gamora, OG Storm, and Deadpool X-Force, thank God. Shout out to so many people, especially my man Dooley Ray, who was the first person I knew to have an awakened 6-star Deadpool X-Force. Why is balancing important? In the past, we've tried different ways to address balance in the contest, but have worked to improve our approach. Balancing new champions is important for the health of the contest, blah, 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 blah. So, basically, I think Kabam's at a crossroads. Realm of Champions is dead. Isn't it dying officially in March? Maybe, just maybe, hopefully for the people who spent so much hard-earned time and money and energy on Realm of Champions, they're being moved, not fired, into the MCOC team. And maybe those people who were working on Realm of Champions now have a chance to spend time doing these kind of tune-ups and rebalancing. Wouldn't that be amazing for the resources? That's what I would do if I was Kabam's CEO. I would just send those people onto this new task. I always love more transparency and more pro-player moves. Always have, always will. The transparency here should help. What I think is interesting is that they still suggest a chance for tune downs. And yes, Namor and Cold Obsidian, though Namor way more than Cold Obsidian, are still playable. But I don't think outside of a crazy rare bug, there's any excuse to tune down a champion once someone has spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on featured calves for that champion, or if they've grinded for them in the arena. Keep in mind, while they didn't really address it here, Kabam also promised us at the end of 2021 that they would give those of you who were very close to getting the featured champion in the arena, and then cheaters took that spot away, the featured champion, or the basic champion. So I look forward to actually seeing that happen, hopefully soon, with the months to come. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Sorry my voice is fading and my congestion is still terrible, but I did make it through most of the post, which is a bit surprising given how exhausted I am. I'm going to get ready for bed and attempt to get more than my usual 4 hours of sleep the last couple nights. Yuck. I'm a mouth breather, which is probably going to surprise no one out there. especially you Reddit forum posters. And so I just can't sleep very well in general when I have congestion. But I'm powering on through for the health of my channel and hopefully the health of the community as a whole, because I like to contribute when possible. Thanks for watching. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever time you chose to click on this video. I appreciate that you did.